Miami was going to win the national championship when Vernon Carey finished his 110.
Yeah.
And other guys say how important the 110s are to not only being fit, being in shape, be able to go and play a game, but to character, to just being the player you're supposed to be. Other guys tell stories of getting back from South Beach or the Grove and running your 110 still a little drunk.
Yeah.
Leonard Myers in the bushes throwing up while other guys were running. What was it about those 110s?
I ain't know, man. They make a man out you or make a coward out the best of us. Like I said, we used to jog to the intramural field and run 110s, but they wasn't 110s, they were 120s. We knew it. There was no way. You know, we was running the way we were and coming in at that time. We started off light. You know, we started off with the tests. It was crazy how we would build up to it. And those 110s were every Friday. You knew when they were. You couldn't prepare for them. You know, and if you made them, man, you was in store for a great weekend. But if you didn't, you know, you knew you had some work to do. You knew you was not on the same page with every other player, you know, with your teammates, with your brothers. You know, and when Vernon made it, I mean, we knew we were working. But that's when you know you're working, when you got 300-pound guys making their time and making them successful. And we about to run through some people, you know. So when that happened, man, we knew we were special. But when that happened, we became that team, because I don't think ever like a whole team has truly made 110s, you know, the way we did. You know, but we know how much work we put in the offseason, man. So when you get that test day, you know, when you get the 110s, like your whole mentality changed. You can been and ran 24 of them and been successful, but when you get to say, somebody says a test, I don't know what happens to the body. You know, but running 16 110s was like, you know, that was cake for us when it came down to it. I don't know how many 110s I ran. I don't know how many 110s we ran. And I know I don't want to run another one. I wouldn't run a 110 today because we ran that many. I don't know how many we ran. I would love to see Swayze's notebook, because I know he have it on how many 110s we ran throughout our career. But man, those 110s will make a break. If you want to be the best, you know, if a kid want to be good, start running 110s, you know, and gradually build up to it. The 110s will get you right. You're going to have speed, you're going to have endurance.
You said you could have left after that 2000 season. You could have left with Reggie, with Santana. Those were your guys. They were leaving. They were seniors. They were in the 2Gs. You could have been a first-round pick, no problem. But you came back. You take a risk doing that. You risk being injured. You risk maybe not having as good of a season, whatever it may be. You took a risk to come back for your senior year. Why?
To be honest with you, I knew I was in the business. For me to come back my senior year, I knew going into the NFL was a business, and not that I wasn't ready for it. It's just that I was already in the business, and I wanted to win a national championship. Winning the national championship, I felt like was the most important thing outside of graduating. I graduated first. You know, me, Reggie, Santana, we graduated, you know, all the same year. So what was important to me was winning the national championship. The business side, I was like, can wait, because I felt like the NFL was truly a business because I had friends there already. Edrin was there, Bubba was there, and I already knew stories. And to get Reggie and Santana going there also was like, that was a blessing to see that. You know, and I know if it was for me to be there too, you know, what God had for me, no man was going to take. So being that they was talking that I was a first-round pick, you know, I think Adam Archuleta went, you know, before me, went as a safety and, you know, first rounder. And, you know, he actually finished playing before I finished playing, you know, and I probably dropped, you know, lost money, all that stuff. But I'm not as blessed as I am today if I don't stay in school. You know, I'm not as blessed as I am today if I don't get redshirted, you know, because if I'm redshirt, that's my senior year. And who's to say I become the player that I am, without learning all the stuff that I learned. So those trials and tribulations, those life lessons, man, were a blessing. So coming back was easy for me. There was no doubt in my mind that I was coming back, because I knew losing that one game and being knocked out of the national championship was like our best effort. But I knew all the work that those guys behind me had put in, also that Reggie and them put in, but the guys behind me were still there. And they wanted to win the national championship. And if I'm one of the keys to it, then you know what? Hey, man, I'm with it. I'm with it, Vilma. I'm with it, Coach Shannon. I'm with it, Black. I'm with it, Vince. Whatever we got to do, Jerome McDougal, I'm with it, guys. What we got to do, Chris Campbell, what we got to do. Mike Rump, Phil Buchanan, because those was my corners. And I knew we had, man, look, nobody was getting anything on us because of those guys. So it was easy. It was an easy decision to come back to win a national championship. It was a no-brainer. It's just like, what are we going to do going through it? How are we going to do it? That's all it was. How are we going to do it?
What makes a hurricane, Ed? We'll end on that.
You would never understand what makes a hurricane unless you go through what we go through. You never know. What makes us us? It speaks for itself. Look at the league. Look at the players that went through the league from Miami. It speaks for itself. It's just something about it. And in all honesty, it's just a bunch of young athletes that want it for themselves, that want it for them teammates, that wanted it for them teammates, wanted it for their teammates and wanted it for themselves. And we went out and played football. We didn't let the distractions or anything around us take us away from what was important. And that's being the best athlete that we can be for our teammates, for our university, And the fact that you were in 80-degree weather in Miami makes you a hurricane.
We're good. I think we're good.
I'll be back, man. Jesus. Old school.
Once you guys...
Speed.
Right?
Yep.
All right. So Ed, you come in, University of Miami was down at the time, 5 and 6 seasons, sanctions, loss of scholarships. All these guys, the limited guys that Coach Davis was able to recruit, were very important to the program. Talk about what you found when you got to the program.
When I came in 1997 with the Deuce One clique, as we called it, Reggie, Santana, Najee, Joaquin, myself, Darryl Jones, we knew right then and there that we didn't have many guys in our class and that something was not all the way right as far as the scholarships and team was concerned. We knew that we were building something. We just didn't know what it was. And once we got into the locker room, it was known immediately that we were Hurricanes and there was a different way, and the coaches, Andrew Swayze, Tommy Moffitt at the time, they were the building blocks to that. And us in the locker room knew that it was going to be policed in the locker room. Our freshman class knew that. And that right there, I think, helped all of us grow immediately and understood what we had to do going forward. It just was a matter of time of it coming together.
You guys were on the same team, but there was almost a little rivalry between the Deuce Ones and the 2Gs.
Yeah, there was. Between 2Gs and Deuce One, they were obviously there before us, and they knew the Miami way. They were actually the group of the team that held us accountable, held everybody accountable. Al Blades, man, who I would say out of all guys he was orange and green. If you cut him, he would bleed orange and green. And everybody pretty much followed that group of guys. Edrin James, Nate Webster, James Sutton, Quincy Hip and those guys, Bubba Franks, man, they truly epitomized what we were about and what Miami was about. And they were going to let it be known that it was going to be a certain way. And if it wasn't that way, dudes, 2G Click would do just about anything to police the team. And we became a tight-knit group. As soon as we saw those guys and how tight-knit they were and the things that they required for a freshman class coming in, everybody cutting their heads ball was one, or they going to do it. That right there put us all together because we went back to the dorms as a freshman class and we cut our heads together. But I think more than cutting our own, heads bald, it put us together. It made us come closer together as a class and understood that in order for us to be successful, we had to be a tight group and be able to police, the Miami way once these guys were gone, because all you heard was, NFL. Where this is a doorway to the NFL, and being that it was a doorway, you knew some guys were going to be gone early, or have the opportunity to go early, and our thing was a matter of how many guys would go early, and building towards that, and once we got to that years later, you saw the success that we had.
Can we, let me just pan, or if you could just shift your body just this way a little, like center it up, yeah, and then move a little left. There.
Move.
Yeah, there, you're perfect. There we go. That's centering him up.
Okay, perfect. You're accountable in your workouts. Someone doesn't finish the 110s. A lot of guys remember Robert Sampson not finishing the 110s.
Hey, man, that's funny.
What do you remember just holding each other accountable and but at the same time the competition, two of you guys in the sand pit, who's gonna get and touch the end of it first?
Well, coming into our freshman year, the competition level was immediately as soon as you got there. As soon as you introduce yourself in the team meeting, as we had to do, stand up, say your name, what position you played. You had guys looking right then and there, whether it was a senior in the back of the room or it was a freshman in your class. You knew the competition level was sky high through the roof, and that once you hit Green Tree, you were going against the best. And that competition level was there every rep that you got. So the accountability, that came soon as you hit the field. We knew how we worked. We knew the work that was going to be put in. Not all of us were there that summer coming into my freshman year, so once we got to training camp, it was like a whole nother level, a whole nother world. I was actually hurt and was able to watch and learn from those guys, but I wanted to be out there because my competition level was already high, but it's watching the best go at it and knowing the way that Miami was, knowing the achievements that Miami had, it was just being drilled into you constantly. This is a championship team. My freshman year, we talking about winning a championship. We went 5-6, but we still had that championship mentality, so the accountability came immediately. And once we got through that first year, and went through the battles that we went through, and everybody knew what we were going to do going into summertime, that's when it really took off. When we had to put that work in together, Deuce, 2G Click, I had already put that work in a couple years coming into it, so they knew how to work in the offseason, but that offseason changed. That offseason got harder with Andrew Swayze and Tommy Moffitt. We jog into the intramural field. How beautiful the campus is right now, how good it looks, the Hex Center, how good they got it. We didn't have it. We didn't have it like that. The weight room was about that big, and that's all of us going in there, and the mentality just was, it was a lot different then, so the accountability, it was there, but you still had the couple mediocre ways, I was saying, in guys. So when we used to jog to that intramural field and have to jog back then work out, if you wasn't going to make that, and more than half your guys, that group was going to work out and make it through that workout, or die trying going through it, and if you quit, that says something about you. You know, not to point any names, but we all went through those tough times. It wasn't just one particular guy, because he toughed his way through it and made it. But when you didn't make it through and you came to hang out, you know, in the apartments during the summer, or even come back in the locker room after we done just went through the hardest workout, you know, of the week on a Friday, and now you want to come in and be smiles, that wasn't happening. There was more than accountability in that locker room. You know, it was a brotherhood. You know, it was truly brothers working out with each other. And if you wasn't going to do everything that we done, you know, it was truly no conversation for the rest of the weekend. You know, for the weekend, it was no coming around. It was no enjoy yourself. You know, you should be doing extra work rather than coming to hang out with us and having a couple beers or whatever we were going to do, have music going, girls over. You were not going to be welcome, you know, and that made you want to work even more harder. You know, that made guys go do their own thing on Saturday mornings, you know, or evenings, to make sure that they was in shape in weeks to come. Because at the end of the day, if you didn't get through those workouts, we knew who we were gonna count on when the season came, and that's all we talked about. If you're not gonna make it through these workouts, we're not gonna be able to, you know, lean on you when the season comes. You know, and that's just how it was.
You get to that 98 season, 97 was that 5-6 season. You get to that 98 season, and a lot of people forget you're playing for the Big East Championship.
Yeah.
At Syracuse.
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb's last game.
Yeah. Marvin
and,
Harris.
What do you remember from these words? GQ45.
No. Say GQ. GQ. Man, I don't want to run that anymore. I don't even want to think that. My sophomore year, my freshman year playing, we in Syracuse, and we got dots on our shoes. We done bought in some psychologists who try to change the team's mentality to think a certain way. I want to say they were saying flush it. After a play, good or bad, flush it, go to the next play. GQ got flushed after that game. I think it was like 63-10 or something. It was bad. We ran like Mace 10 key was the call. We called Mace 10 key. Nothing to Coach Miller, because Coach Miller was a great guy. It's just that we wasn't putting ourselves in the right position for us scheme-wise. But we called Mace 10 key, and Donovan McNabb faked the option to the fullback and then just followed him. I remember that. So, I mean, he just followed him right up the middle. Nobody touched him for a touchdown. It's like 60 yards. Like, for real. Nobody touches him, you know, on the defense. So that right there was the worst thing ever in life for us, you know. And then we come back to the bowl game, and we see this guy on the other team's sideline as we watching film, you know, for the bowl game. We played North Carolina State in the Micron PC Bowl after that. So we wanted to do everything to these guys. I mean, they didn't have a chance playing against us. Really, nobody did in the bowl game. But I mean, that game really kind of I think it brought us together as players. It brought us closer together as players, but we still were a little bit immature, you know, and it was going to come back and haunt us in the years to come.
They're calling the plays. Nate Webster and Damian Lewis are changing the plays, you know, breaking chalkboards, angry. But it brought you guys together. It didn't divide you. Why?
No, because it showed the passion. It showed the passion that we put, you know, so much work in, and we believed that we were the better team no matter who we were playing. We were a championship team no matter who we were playing, but we had to understand that we were also going to get championship effort every week. So it wasn't so much as that we, you know, kind of didn't stay together, which we did. We stayed together, but we had to understand that other teams are going to be, you know, coming at our head every week. So it wasn't so much as them or us, as it was understanding our opponent too. You know, because we were working on us. We were like, we know we're a championship team. We running the 120s, you know, which they said were 110s, but they were 120s. We were doing all the hard work in the offseason, but I don't know if we were paying attention to our schedule and who we were playing as much as we were paying attention to us, because we were rebuilding. You know, we were under sanctions. We were, you know, we didn't have as many players, you know, as other teams. So, you know, we was a little bit behind, but it didn't hinder our work ethic. You know, we still had a great work ethic. We just didn't have the endurance to get us through a full game as far as players is concerned. And when we did reload, it was on.
You had a dot on one shoe, your ring size on the other.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, they brought this motivational speaker from North Carolina State.
Yeah.
Totally outside of what Coach Davis would ever preach to you to get fitted for a ring before you actually
Play, right.
Play and win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talk about seeing him. I want you to describe when you guys saw that motivational speaker on the other side and the Micron PC Bowl.
Oh, man, it was funny because we were watching tape after. We were watching the tape and, like, he's on the sideline, you know. So it was just like, it kind of hit home. Like, we don't, you know, we do Miami things. We do it Miami way, you know. And Coach Davis brought a whole lot of things great to us that came to fruition later in life. Like, me and Reggie was talking just 2-3 years ago about Coach Davis' sayings that he used to give us. So to see that speaker on another team's sideline and we playing in the bowl game, we were like, it's on. It's on and popping. We about to crush this team, you know, and we did. We won, you know, but it just let us know, like, Miami's Miami, and it's truly us against the world in a sense, you know, because Miami had did everything they did in the 80s, you know, and 90s, and they went to try to get rid of football. And now it was going back to implement the Miami way, but, you know, you still had the president that was, you know, dealing with the things that he dealt with as far as how he thought the football team should be. And Coach Davis come in to get things in order. So it was his way or the highway sort of way. And you still have grown young men and grown men on the team who know a lot of football. You know, so when we saw that guy on the sideline, man, that kind of just, you know, made us come together even more. Like, you know what, we're going to do this the way we do it, and that's play football. And it's no other way but to play football. Get the call, everybody do their job, and we'll be successful.
You guys were going to the locker room, if some say halftime, others say after the game, and you're just walking down the sideline. Well, describe that. You're saying flush it.
Yeah, I mean, funny, man. I mean, when we was all in school, we were rebels, sort of say. You know, you needed that and to be a Miami guy. You know, I think to be a Miami player, you got to have some rebel in you to get things going. It's not that you're a rebel just not listening, because we were mature enough to listen and still do, but that rebel in us, you know, it was the swag. It was the swag to let people know, you know, because I'm pretty sure North Carolina State probably heard the same speech from that guy or something similar. So we wanted to let them know that, or let him know that what we were doing, you know, and it wasn't so much as flushing what we were thinking. It was more or less flushing the team, you know, at the time. So you could say we were kind of jerks or assholes, sort of say, but, you know, hey, that was part of the Miami swag. Like, look, we put this work in, man. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's all about us. It's that simple.
After that Syracuse game, you go from one of the worst losses in Hurricane history to one of the biggest wins ever. And that week of practice, it's pouring rain.
Yeah.
You know, it was a difficult environment to practice in. And Coach Davis does something completely out of character during one of those practices.
Yeah.
You know, in the pouring rain, he goes and jumps and flops in a big puddle of water and sort of gets you guys pumped. What do you remember from that moment, and what you guys took from that moment?
First of all, I was in the locker room To be exact, I want to say the DBs were the first group to start that. That jump into the water. It was pouring down, raining. I never forget it. It was pouring down. There's puddles on Green Tree, and we finish up, and we're walking off the field, jogging off the field, and we see the puddle, and we just take off striking towards it. And we all running towards it, and we all go in there, DBs, D-line, and we get in the locker room, water everywhere, and we hear Coach Davis jumped in the water. Coach Davis just went in the water, slid head first or whatnot, and to see everybody walking in, smiling, just together, joking, having a great time, I think that hit in some of our minds like, this is what it's about. This is how it's supposed to be. Not only are we grinding outside, but we also have fun. And that's one thing we always did. We had a lot of fun. You talk about being under the tree and stuff like that, man. We had a lot of fun when it came to football and training. So I think that brought us together even more so and put our trust behind our coach. We really started to trust Coach Davis's way and do it his way at that point. And when we did, we saw what happened. We came together as a team because you don't just need the players, you need the coaches to be on board as well. And the players and coaches have to be thinking alike to win a championship. And we were getting to that. All that we talked about prior was building blocks, was steps to achieve what we was achieving. Micron PC Bowl, keep grinding, lose big game, then win a big game, stepping stone, growth, and then going into my sophomore year, my junior year, Reggie's and them senior year now in 2000. So all those were just stepping blocks to get here.
UCLA, you had a game to basically lead to, not to take the lead, but shave the lead down. Wide receiver gets open. Delvin Brown takes a pretty bad angle. You come from behind, pop the ball out, or you actually recovered.
No, I hit him. Delvin recovered.
And Delvin recovered. What do you remember from that play and that moment? It's an Orange Bowl that wasn't filled.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. I remember it was a loud Orange Bowl.
Yeah, it was.
Not being
it was. We was happy to play UCLA at that point. We're glad that the game had got switched around because of the hurricane at the time. So it was perfect. It was perfect timing after we had just got our tail whooped, and that was a game that changed the program. And I think we were already having a pretty decent year as a team and as individuals. Edgerrin James just took off that game, and we all followed suit. We truly followed suit. Edgerrin was having the game of his life, and we didn't want to have situation that happened the week before or weeks past where we played hard and just lost. We truly was coming together on that sideline like, this is it. This is the time. It's like now or never. This is a national championship team we're playing against, and we're saying we're a championship team. So once we committed to that, it was gonna be one of those brawls that we were ready for. It was gonna be an old school Miami brawl that we were ready for, and it showed. The playmaking abilities, the green tree, the hard work, all of that came down to the wire. And once they got the ball and they were driving, man, it was like something needed to be done. And we talked about it on the sideline and in the huddles. Let's make a play. Somebody make a play. And it's not that I was like, okay, it's got to be me. It's just that it fell that way. And it was time to do what we talked about, and once we got that ball back, it's like the place erupted. Like you said, there wasn't many people in the stands that day, but the people that were there were screaming their lungs out because they knew that was going to be the game that make a difference. It's like a number one team. It's like Florida State, Miami, playing. Anytime you're playing against a number one team, everything else is out the door. And I think that started to really helped us to understand, like, not only are we going to get championship effort, but we got to give it. We got to give it all the time. It can't just be when you're playing against the number one team. It's got to be when you're playing against Troy State, the FAMUs, any team in the Big East, you know. So it didn't matter because we were getting that championship effort.
You go into the 90, you win the Micron PC Bowl, go into the 99 season, you beat Ohio State, Big Ten team, a lot of hype on that. And you guys are doing well, and Penn State comes to town. Rainy game,
Yeah.
you know, fourth down that I still remember. James Jackson picked it up, but the refs didn't give him the spot.
Yeah.
And it's Chaffee Fields, Mike Rumpf, and you with a little under 2 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Just describe that play, what you remember, and how heartbreaking that loss was.
It was a lesson to be learned for me and Mike. I think as a defense too, we learned a lesson for as players and coaches. That play, man, I would give anything to have that play again, you know, and I would probably play the same play, same call we played, and they probably make the play, but I'll bet anything on Mike Rumpf in one-on-one, and I'm sure Coach was thinking the same thing. Coach, D coordinator at the time, shooting the blank.
It was
Chiano. Coach Chiano called the man call, you know, and I just had all the confidence in the world that play was over. You know, I was just kind of jogging to get there, you know, in position to make a play, but just thinking like there's no way this play is going to be completed with Mike in the position that he was in, you know, but the ball was thrown perfect, man. I mean, it was just thrown perfect. You know, it couldn't have been thrown any other way. And they scored the touchdown after a hard-fought game, you know, where many mistakes were made on both sides. So it could have really went either way. But that game taught me so much because the next game I didn't start. Only game in my career I never started at Miami. And honestly, when they didn't start me, I could care less if we won or lost at that time because I felt like if you're going to take me out of the game, you should take not just me out, you should take yourself out, you know, as a coaching staff because, you know, you're the ones who put us in position to do things. You know, so that game there was kind of personal to me because I know why. But it also was a lesson learned, you know, for me and for our team. I think we got stronger as a defense after that, you know, and understood that it was truly going to take the players to understand the game and play the game the way we know how to win a championship the way we want to win it, you know. So that play was a lesson learned, man. It's a play that kind of hurt us, but like I said, it helped us. It was another stepping stone to get to where we wanted to go. And that trust between Mike Rumpf, that same type of trust came back in the Boston College game our senior year.
And that game, unfortunately, that moved the East Carolina game
Yep.
to a different stadium.
Yep.
And then it was
Wish we
FSU.
should have won that game, but that was their championship, you know. And I think football God was on their side because of everything that they experienced. That was like one of the worst hurricanes to ever hit that area, and their stadium was packed. Their stadium was loud, you know. And it's not that we felt bad, 'cause we didn't, but it was an emotional game for those guys, you know. And they just couldn't do no wrong. You know, that was their national championship. You know, my advisors are from that school, and that's all they live by. They never won a national championship. They never won a conference, I don't even think, while I was in school, but that's the game they live by. But that's the standard that we have, that everybody, if they win one game against us, it make or break their lives. You know, it's the one thing they can live by. You know, and that's what we had to understand, like, truly, and I keep coming back to it, that we were getting championship effort every year, every week, every week we were getting championship effort. And for us to understand that, you know, it come a year before we win the national championship against Washington when we lost that one game.
Yeah, and you go to that BC game just a couple weeks later, down 28-7 in the fourth quarter. You have a big turnover. You pick a ball off. You guys come back, and you know, it would have been so much easier to just lie down and lose another one in a row.
Yeah, well, we worked too hard once again, and we were fighters, man. We wanted to win. We wanted to be great as a team. And that was another moment that turned it around. That was a moment, that was another step in the dirt to really bring us together as a team. We started slow, real slow, which I thought was going to happen because, just the things we used to do as players, man, it was crazy. But to start that slow and to see like the end, it was like it took us all the way back to the bottom. It took us all the way back to 40, 49, 47, nothing in Florida State. It took us there, I think. Some of us who was through that game, and we were like, nah, it's enough is enough. Enough is enough. We know that we're a better team. Yeah, we knew Boston College was going to play us hard, and it's cold and all that, but now it's whatever. The elements are whatever. And if we want to do the things that we want to do as a group, this is going to be the game. And you can see it in the faces and the conversations that we were having on the sideline. Like, this is it. And it sure enough turned around.
You finished that season on a January 1st bowl, something the Hurricanes hadn't been doing in a while. And Coach Davis in his pregame speech to you guys says, this is why we're playing. We're playing to play on January 1. How important was it for the program to get to that New Year's Day bowl after 5 and 6 seasons, after Micron PCs, Blockbuster Bowls, and all of that?
Gator Bowl.
Gator Bowl.
To get to the January 1st bowl game was letting us know that we was taking steps in the right direction. Before that, we were having conversations like, if you're playing in a bowl game before the first or not practicing around Christmas time, it doesn't even matter. And for us, it didn't matter at all. So for us to take a step and moving in that right direction, man, to know as a Deuce One group, we were moving in the right direction because our aspiration was to win a national championship and to bring as many guys to the NFL as possible. So we knew we was taking steps in the right direction. I knew as an individual that we were getting much better. And with some more scholarships and some more players, we're going to be in the hunt for a national championship in the year to come. And sure enough, we got those guys coming in. After we played in that January 1st bowl, we had some guys coming in that was going to help us.
You go into that January 1st bowl. It's against Joe Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Big. He was a Heisman finalist.
Yeah.
Actually, he won it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did it bring back shades of having to stop McNabb 2 years earlier? That option, having to deal with that. The defense, was it a personal thing for that defense?
It was personal for the team. It was personal for us because the game was in Florida. It didn't matter. The game was in our house. It was in our house, so it didn't matter who we were playing. Once we committed to coming to that bowl game, and we went up there, and some family members, people had family up there around the area, but there was nothing to do. We was there for one thing. We were there for one thing, and that was every bowl game. We had that same mentality. We was not losing. You're giving us time to prepare for one team this long? It's not happening. So it had nothing to do with Georgia Tech. It had everything to do with us, once again, playing our best and finishing the season on a great note going into the offseason because of everything that happened in the season was behind us. Now it's come down to one game. And if this one game was the national championship, how would you perform? And we knew we had guys that were taking a step to the NFL after that, and guys that had aspirations to go into the NFL. So it's not about what you had done. It was about what you're going to do today, what you're going to do with this last opportunity that you had going into the offseason.
We remember from a little song, I think Nate Brooks.
Old money. Forget the old money. Tell them that we want our money. Canes, baby. Off the chain, baby. Bottom. Hey, man. Nate came up with some stuff, man. Hey, man. We had some fun.
That 2000 offseason.
Yes.
A lot of guys say that was the offseason. That was the toughest offseason
Ever. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it, man. We pushed each other to the max and further. You know, we didn't need coaches. We didn't need coaches to tell us do this or do that. We were to that point now to where it was 4 years into it for all of us as a 2-1, Deuce 1 click and 2Gs was right there. We were 4 years into it. This was it. You know, everything that we've learned is coming down to your last years, possibly mine, we didn't know. And we were about to give everything to it. You know, we worked so hard, man, and we're such a close-knit group, but players and coaches had to be there to win it. And we still had a little separation between us, I thought. And I had the conversation with Andrew Swayze prior to the season. I was like, if we lose any game, if we lose at all, it'd be one game. Because we won't lose another one. Because of everything we've been through the years past. And he was like, why you say that? I said, it won't be because of players. Not this time. I said, it'll be because of coaching, if anything. And he couldn't believe it. And sure enough, we lost that one game, man, in Washington. And we definitely bounced back from it and got robbed later. But, you know, that was the offseason that really put us on the map, I thought. That was the season that really put us on the map, you know, because we were so close as a group, that Deuce One group, that we knew we had built something to get us to the point that we were at. We had an understanding of the Miami way because of all the teaching, all the guys we had before us, you know, to make them proud. Finally, we were here. Finally, we were there. You know, my junior year, and we just lost that one game, man, that really took us out of us.
Why do you think? I mean, it's the farthest distance between two schools in the United States, Miami to Washington. The crowd noise. I mean, I remember the team didn't seem prepared. At least the offense didn't seem prepared for the amount of crowd noise. Why does Miami lose that game?
It was just different. It's like playing in Seattle now with that understanding. For me, from an NFL standpoint, you know, they don't really have much going on over there, man. You know, but you know, that game. I mean, it was a long flight, long little transition for us. You know, it was different. It was different timing. You know, being out there. You know, so it was just the preparation. You know, was different. You know, so. Who knows why we started slow? You know, it's just something that happens in football. You got to be prepared for it. And I think as a team, we wasn't prepared for it. We was just prepared for greatness. And when it happened that way, it kind of felt like the old Miami. I think it felt like it put us in a old state of mind for a little bit. And we like had to shake the bugs off. And by the time we did that, it was too late. You know, and it made us, it once again, it brought us together like, you know what, no more. No more. No more. Offense, defense, special teams, no more. If we start slow over here, you pick us up and vice versa. No more. And that's what happened. It brought us together like we were not – in order for us to win a national championship, which we knew before that, you had to go undefeated. You had to go undefeated. And from that point on, we was like, lose no more. Lose no more. Because we knew we were a better team, and we knew we were about to play better teams than them. And we'll see them later. We'll get them back. That was our hope. We'll get them back. They got one. But we won't lose another one.
And you end up facing FSU 5 straight times they had defeated the Hurricanes.
Yeah, them in Syracuse, or Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
All 3 of them, I think.
Yeah. You first face FSU 2000 in the Orange Bowl, high noon. The Orange Bowl runs out of water. It's hot as hell. You know, Miami takes control of that game early. Mm-hmm. You have an interception on Chris Winker.
Chris Winker, yeah.
And
the west side of the building.
It comes down. You know, Dan Morgan has a great pick at the end of halftime, and it comes down to essentially Dorsey in the drive.
Yes. That couldn't have been a better scene to come off the Washington game for the offense to finish the way they did. Because not that the defense had doubt or anything like that, because we never did, but to bring us together as a team, you had to make sure that both sides were together. All three sides were together. And to do it against Florida State, the one team we didn't like, that's when it was going to come together. That's when it came together. Like, you know what? We are the team to be reckoned with. We are the team to be reckoned with because we can go through those tough times and fight through and win. So for Dorsey and them to put that drive together, we had all the faith in the world that it was going to happen. We just ain't know another kick was going to be in the making, but we felt favor on our side, man. Honestly, for all the stuff we did and to drive down that field the way we did, it was over, You
had the likes of Michael Irvin on the sideline, Bernie Kosar, Jim Kelly. What is it like to just, you're a kid, you remember watching these guys playing in college or in the NFL, and you look over to the sideline and you see these greats, and Santana remembers Michael pulling him to the side and giving him a speech in the middle of the game. Ken Dorsey remembers looking over and Michael Irvin's yelling at him. Nobody else is. Give Reggie a chance. What is it like to see those guys on the sideline when playing?
I mean, man, it's like no other. Honestly, it's motivating, without a doubt, to see guys who you knew played at your school, played at the school that you were at, and they made a mark. It gives you power. It gives you a little bit of power. Like, stop screaming at me. I already know, But to see those guys on the sideline, man, it was like no other. It lets you know truly, away from being on the field at the time, you can probably step away in your mind and say, man, this is why I came to Miami. This is why I'm part of Orange and Green, because this brotherhood is truly like that. It's that tight. Not only would they come to practice or come and talk to you, but they here at games when they have free time, to share that time with you, to be a part of it. Because we, being away from it, just want to be a part of it. We just want to just know, we just know the work that these young guys are putting in right now in Miami, in that heat, that we a part of that. We've been part of that. We know what it takes to be, a Hurricane. And to go back and guys to see that, that's what it's about. For us to see it at that time, we was like, this is what it's about. We got to do something.
You finished that season, with the only
one loss.
To Washington, but you win the rest of the games, and the BCS poll comes out.
Yeah. BCS poll came. BCS came out, and we couldn't believe it. But for everything that Miami went through, we knew something was going to go wrong. We left it in the wrong hands. We always knew that we could never leave it in the referee's hands being part of Miami. And for the BCS to come out and give it to who it was, Virginia Tech and Oklahoma, Florida State. I mean, at the time, was it Virginia Tech and Florida State?
It was
Florida State and Oklahoma. After we beat them. It was for the BCS to come out and have Florida State, Oklahoma, after we beat Florida State. I mean, Florida State knew it. Whoever wins that game goes to the national championship game. Washington game was way, in the beginning of the season, and I don't know if Washington won a game after that, but didn't matter. I mean, they had all these stuff that they put in their strength schedule, blah, blah, blah. We were the best team. We were the best team that whole year, without a doubt. Better than Oklahoma. And I'm sure they didn't want to play us. And if they asked them at the time, Oklahoma, you want to play them or Florida State? Yeah, we would take Florida State. So that's probably what happened. So, I mean, the BCS, yes, they got us. But, hey, here we are. Last game again. And we playing another team in our state who we haven't played. You know what? This worked out the perfect way. It worked out the perfect way because you know what? The national championship game is in New Orleans now. And that's what we wanted. Everybody on our team wanted a chance to play against Florida. Since we was in school, why are we not playing against Florida State, or Notre Dame? teams that we wanted to play against, my class, I know we wanted to play against them. So for us to get Florida and not go to the national championship, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And it showed even before we even got to the game, that there was a dislike there, that both teams had, that truly both teams had. But, this was our national championship again. And once again, for me, it was home. I was in New Orleans with my teammates, and we were going to have a blast for the first couple of days, and then it was over, and that's just what happened. And Florida didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance to win that game. We wouldn't give them a chance.
What do you remember from Bourbon Street?
That I was with my family and I got it over the news. I got a call from Ed Hudat, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And they interviewing everybody through the hotel. Me, Santana, and Reggie, we trying to go back to the House of Blues, and we can't go. We having a great time. I mean, we trying to get out the hotel, and they got a SWAT team downstairs. I mean, we sneaking out, but we can't leave. So it was crazy, man. It was crazy to know that, both teams on Bourbon Street and a fight broke out, and, those guys started it and they got beat up. It's like, man, that's what we do. We do that all the time in the locker room. It was not new to us. It wasn't new to me. It was just a matter of making sure nobody gets in trouble and that we still win this game. That was our only focus. It was like, what happened? Everybody's good. Let's go play football.
And you took your frustration, whatever frustration was left from the BCS, you took it out on Florida.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance. Like I said, it was our national championship. It was playing for the state now. We already beat Florida State. They're in the national championship. Who cares? We know we beat them. And if they win, we know what that means. So, but Florida being part of being in our way now, hey, here we go. Here we go. I don't even think guys watched the national championship game after that because it was all about us winning that game,
Coach Davis, not right after, but rumors start circulating after the Sugar Bowl that he could be leaving. He's not leaving. He is leaving.
Told us he wasn't leaving. Coach told us he wasn't leaving, leaving the team, and everybody kind of felt like, okay, yes, we got it. We got pretty much the same team. We lose a lot of key players, but we still got a good core of guys to win, if certain guys stay in school. And then coach was like, I'm not leaving to go anywhere. I'm with you guys. And then I guess he got the call. He got the call to go to the NFL, to go to the Cleveland Browns, and he's taking a few guys with him. It's like, oh, man, that hurt. I think I saw tears, in a lot of guys because Coach Davis was so much a part of us at Miami that we didn't want any other coach. We didn't want anybody else to come in there and change things up. But here we go. Now we got to change. We got Coach Davis leaving.
And you, along with Brian McKinney and a couple other guys, took the initiative and went straight to Paul D.
Yeah.
To express your feelings and what you guys felt was the best for the program at the time. How did that meeting go?
It went simple. It was a simple meeting. We went to Paul D. and we said, Mr. D, we want to win the national championship. And he agreed. In order for us to win the national championship, we cannot bring anybody in here new who doesn't know us. We need somebody who's here, Coach Coker being the coach, that understand us as players and is going to give us the best chance to win a national championship. We'll take that into consideration. Thank y'all for coming up. We appreciate it. That was the meeting. And Coach Coker got hired. And Coach Coker knew exactly what team he had. He knew exactly that, that my guys were going to play football. All I have to do is put the coaches in the right situation to coach them, coach the players, and we're going to win a national championship. And that team is going to police whatever needs to be policed. Situations happen plenty times that we went to coaches like, Coach, we got it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. And we took care of any situation that happened with any player on that team. I don't even know if we had anything reported that year, if anything. But we had a bunch of situations. One being on South Beach, but, we policed that team because of everything that we've been through prior, everything that I've been through prior. Darryl Jones, Reggie was gone now. So it's like everything that I saw with the 2G clique that I learned from Al Blaze, Nate Webster, Edrin, Bubba, Mondrell, everything I learned from Santana, Delvin, Reggie, everything I learned through those guys was being poured out to those younger guys to win a national championship. That's why I stayed. I stayed because I knew we had a chance to win a national championship. And I knew the way we could win a national championship. We had the players to win a championship. And no business like Kane business at the time for me. I would have stayed 2 more years there. They gave it to him. I actually pitched for it at the banquet. But we were about to win a national championship, and I know as an individual, I was about to win a national championship for all my teammates who left before me because they deserved it. We deserved that championship my junior year. Being in that game, we deserved it, my red shirt junior year, but we didn't get that opportunity. And every bit of that championship in Nebraska was for those guys that was part of that 4 or 5 year growth for me, because they taught me so much. I couldn't have been the player I was without those guys. And we wouldn't win a national championship, as some of them say, without me being on the team. I think differently because I know that we had a great safety and a great bunch of DBs behind me that were on the special teams at the time that could play some great football. The maturity, I don't know if that was there, but I know we had the talent. And coming back was easy for me. It's like, dude, we're not going to lose the game if we come back. It's not happening. And sure enough, those guys were committed to it. We were committed to bringing home a national championship after, Deuce One's senior year, my red shirt junior year. Those guys, man, Vince Wilfork, the team guys we had. Come on, I can name all of them that are truly football Hall of Famers. Some of them and all pro guys that was on that team. And the team before that 2000 year and 2001 year and 2002 year, those guys that came on those teams, man, oh my God. I could count them all forever. How much success we had as individuals that was on that team to win the national championship in that year before. The commitment level was like no other my senior year. The commitment level was like no other. And the fact that those guys had so much respect for me, I always said a leader leads by example first. He don't have to say anything. So my commitment to them, being that I knew we wanted, was to work out and to be in the best shape of my career ever at Miami because I had the time to put into it and I understood that football was it for me at the time. So we had 5:30 workouts with Andrew Swayze, or 6:30 workouts. 5:30 because we didn't have the time. We only had an hour and a half to get to 7 right. We had an hour and a half, and everybody else had from 7 to 9, 2 hour, workout time. So we had to move faster. There was no rest time, and then you start to see 5 guys come out to 5:30, 7 guys come out to 5:30. Everybody started taking turns just coming out there as a team. Like, it was crazy. It's like, man, there's no way we losing the game. And they were all for it. Like, no way we losing the game. So when you see those things start to transpire from freshmen doing it to juniors doing it, sophomores doing it, seniors, you knew you wasn't losing. So that off season, shoot, it was another stepping stone, for us.
And you go through that season.
We didn't change media. Rolling.
You go through that season. You go up to Penn State. biggest crowd ever in their history. They have Adam Telefair lead them out of the tunnel. You kick their ass pretty handedly. You beat Florida State at Florida State pretty easily. There's always that one game for any national champion that you gotta struggle a little bit and you come out on top, and that's Boston College.
Yeah.
One of the most well-known plays in Hurricane history you're a part of. Talk about that game. The offense struggled. Ken Dorsey struggled. Miami always seems to struggle up there. You struggled up there only 2 years prior. Talk about that game and then finally that play.
So senior year leading up to.
Hold up 1 sec.
She must have cut that. Yeah.
BC.
So leading up, my senior year, national championship year, Boston College. We knew going up there it was going to be a tough game. Why it's going to be a tough game? Because it's been a tough game for every year past. Even playing in Pittsburgh, West Virginia, but it was always by the time of the year. Why was the game in Boston College going to be hard? Well, I'll tell you why. 90% of my school year was 80-plus degrees. Anytime we worked out on Green Tree, it was damn near 90 or 100. So anytime we played a game that was in cold weather, we started slow or struggled, man. And that probably was in Washington. I think it was a little cold up there. But Boston College, man, it was just, we knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. It just was weather the storm until we get in our groove. And we were moving the ball, but we just couldn't get in the end zone. And once again, Big East, every team in the Big East played us hard because that was their national championship. After going through our junior year, we knew it was going to be tough. And some of those guys on that team probably was on that team when we came back and beat them. So it was they always knew Miami is the team to beat. And I'm pretty sure if you interview any Boston College guy, we were the team that they had circled on their schedule. So getting to that game, of course we knew it was going to be hard, but it don't matter. We're not losing, So for me, I was mad. I was mad because we were playing so tight and they were driving. But to come back after the Chaffee Field situation years back, me and Mike Rump on the play before, right before the snap, we've been talking the whole game. I'm like, Mike, get inside this slant. Press him, get inside, jump this slant. I got you over the top. He's not going over the top. I didn't have to say anything else to Mike. He trusted me because we've been together for so long. Mike jumped the slant. Mike makes the play. Matt catches the ball. Matt looks like, to me, like he's running to score a touchdown, but Matt is too slow to score a touchdown. So let me help Matt out. I run over there, and I'm yelling, Matt, give me the ball, this Ed. He looks up at the last minute. If you pause it, as he gets the ball, he looks at me and lets it go. And, history from there. I was not the fastest guy, but I was not about to let another number 20 catch me. And so I had to go back old school. I'm zigzagging like we used to do, like you can't catch me. And, slam the ball and everything. But it because we worked so hard and we knew what we wanted. And they were the team. We knew that was going to be the team. We knew that was going to be the game, because it just brought me back. And I'm pretty sure I gave a speech about the year when we came back up there, leading up to it, because we needed to know how hard it was going to be. And we might have drilled it so much to where we made it hard on ourselves, but that play, to be remembered, man. But Matt gave me the ball. I did not take it. Everybody always say, Ed took the ball from Matt. I did not take it. He gave me the ball. There's no way I'm going to take the ball from a 300-pound D lineman who's squeezing it with his life because he know that we won the game. No, he has to give it. Yeah. I was ripping it a little bit, but he had to give it.
It never entered your mind to just run out of bounds.
Nah, man, I played this game. I started playing this game in Sandlot. You know, whoever gets the ball, they score with it. And you could be going against 10 people, you can be going against 25. It don't matter. One person get the ball, one person scores. So I always played it to have fun. You know, if I go back and do it again, if we played that game today and the same situation happened, yeah, I probably would go down. You know, I probably wouldn't have did that. You know, just not to put ourselves in position. But once again, in my head, I'm an offensive guy too, and we wasn't scoring many points that game. So you know what? We're not going to leave any stone unturned. They do not get the ball back and can score and win the game. No, they can score, but they can't win the game. So let's go win the game. I only knew winning. I only know winning. I don't know losing. I don't like losing. I don't know it. Don't care to know it.
You then finish the season at Virginia Tech. You have another good game. You have a key interception.
Yeah.
But
Two.
Blacksburg's two of them actually.
Mm-hmm.
Blacksburg's always a tough place to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Special teams. But you come out on top, and there's always that video of all you guys with the roses in your mouths and chanting, "We're going to the ship."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, what was the movie that came out at the time? Not Bad News Bears or something like it. They were green and white, the kids. Oh, man, I'm shooting a blank. But it'll come to me at some time. And they used to say that. They was like the Bad News Bears at the time. And it's like Sandlot or something like that. They were playing, and they started off bad. They were terrible. They got better as the season went. And their whole thing was that we were going to the ship. So we used to say that. We used to say that throughout the season. It was part of us. So after the Virginia Tech game, it was the truth then. It was there. It was reality. You know, everything we worked for, everything we talked about, and for me, all the years of working with those guys and jogging to the intramural field, man, being in the locker room, you know, watching guys not being able to come to the locker room, knowing all the speeches, man, all the tussles we'd been through, man, all the dinners we went through every other day, all the Thursday night meetings with the team, going to Hooters, hanging in the Grove, everything was coming down to this one game now to represent the Miami way. And we knew it. And you know, that's why we yelling the way we yelling, man, because we wanted the world to know, you know, but we also wanted the world to know that, look, there's a certain focus. Now, there's still one more game, and we're not overlooking it. We're going to celebrate it right now, but we wasn't overlooking it whatsoever, you know, even with making songs and everything.
I was just getting to Ballin' Boy.
Hey, that was the Miami way, you know? It was the Miami way. That was it. You go to Miami, you ballin'. Anybody go to Miami right now, they ballin'. You know, I got a phone call about 9:30 one night. Willis McGahee. Willis called me like, man, No Good want to make a song with us. What you got going on? Can you get here? I'm like, man, no problem. They want to make a song. I'm like, I'm good. I don't know what it's about, but I'm like, I'm good. No problem. I love music. I love being in the studio. You know, hence why I'm always around it now. I love music. So we in the studio. This guy's like, hey, we can write your verse for you, or you can write it. You know, here's the beat, and this is what we're doing. This is the hook. I'm like, oh, man, really? I'll write my own verse. It's like, I write my own verse because at the time I used to write poetry and stuff. So it's like, man, let's do it. And it's like this song is going to come out before the national championship game. I said, oh, man. And you got the clip where we're singing the Super Bowl Shuffle with Jerry Payton under the tree. If you go back to that moment, I'm singing with him because that game, the 85 Bears, that was like the best thing ever in life for a football person to see. You see a team singing a Super Bowl Shuffle before they even playing it? Oh, yeah, we making this song. We making it. Because we know. We know, and they gonna hear it. And I'm sure they probably was playing it in their locker room beforehand. Like, man, we listened to their song. They about to kick our ass, So that's why we made that song. That's all we talked about, making it like, man, this is the Super Bowl shuffle for college football. This is it. That's why that song is still classic, because it's all about football. It was all about football for us. And that song actually went to the NBA All-Star game, but the remix did. The remix went there, and those guys had a blast with it, man. They balled off that song, man. A lot of people did. So it's still a classic to this day. Our hope right now is when you start to play it.
What, you remember your lines?
2-0 E Reed, boy. The best DB, boy, knock you off your feet, boy. Defensive player bringing pain. Them canes are off the chain. Come cross my middle, get swollen. Nebraska, no chance in the Rose Bowl. I don't see no DB. Yeah, that's my boy right there coming. JG. JG come with it like Curtis Blow after that. Yeah, man. I can't never forget that verse, man. I love that. I love that song. I love the way we did it. It was classy. I love the fact that we had a party, for it, like an album release party in the world's famous 119, So we had some good times, man. We had some great times, and for it to come all, for me as an individual, for my career to come off like that from the University of Miami, man, couldn't be no other way, because I know I learned so much and carried so many guys with me, through that season, through those years that I learned from. One being my brother, rest in peace, Al Blades, and Chris Campbell, who was on that national championship team. But me and Al, man, when I first got to Miami, I hung with Rod Mack on my trip, and Al Blades was the one person. It's like he was waiting for me to get there. It's like, dude, you the dude. This is the type of stuff you like, this is the dog right here. And we know how loud Al was. This is the dog right here. It's like he was waiting, man. He saw my highlight tape. He used to talk to me so much. We used to hang together so much. That guy stayed with me for many years of my career. Not because it's just the Miami way, but just because the brotherhood and how we work together, the things we discussed in the team, in the meeting rooms and stuff like that, man. And same thing for Chris Campbell. It just losing those two really hurt me, took something out of me from a Miami standpoint, just because I know all the work we put into it, and life is so much more than football.
You get to that Rose Bowl game and Vilma's weak against our guys, and we get to that game and they're just slow. Yeah,
they weren't better at all. They weren't better than the guys we had running option, and we had some speed. We had talent, man. Guys who were on our special teams were first rounders who ran the scout team. Sometimes you would get us to go over there and run the scout team, against Dorsey and those guys. I mean, you had guys running the scout team when Reggie and Santana was there. So how you not getting better? How you not getting better if you're going against Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, James Jackson, Clinton Portis, Najee Davenport, Ken Dorsey, James Lewis, Marquise Fitzgerald, Dan Morgan, myself. How you not get better going against us? So the talent we saw on Greentree, that's why our expectations was so high, because the talent on Greentree was some of the best talent in the country. So you had no other choice. Either you're going to get better and compete, or you're going to get lost and get gone, from Miami. And a lot of guys that came there that had talent just couldn't pan out because they couldn't do the work and couldn't keep up with the work that we put in, So
that 2001 team, first, you were on the cover. There were a lot of guys. Gave you a little this, a little that. You're on the cover, covered in roses.
Yeah.
Talk about that, how that came about, and what they tell you. Did they tell you, hey, Ed, we want you lying down without your shirt on and covered in roses? Well, what do you remember from that?
I think my teammates set me up because I was known as the leader of the team at the time, and we were going to the Rose Bowl, and that was like, that was huge. National championship that hasn't been through there in, 10 years or so. So it was huge for us. It's crazy how they came to me. It's like they want to do this picture with me landing roses, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm like, I'm hurt though. I had a bruised sternum from the Florida State game, and that lingered the whole year. And they come to me I'm like, man, I'm hurting. Like I'm in the picture actually in pain, and I'm actually laying in the locker, not in the locker room, in the weight room on the mat that they just placed roses, on the thing or whatnot, And, I mean, I was a guy, I was getting my sexy on, for the ladies, I was doing my GQ thing. It should have been a GQ magazine, but I take Sports Illustrated. But no, man, it was a great article because it was about leading up to that game years before. It's kind of like this, it was leading up to it and everything that we've been through, and now going back to a national championship. I was honored to represent, my teammates in the school at the time, and yeah, they did give me a lot for that. I still get it.
Is that 01 team the greatest team in your eyes of all time college football?
It's going to be hard not to be because we went undefeated. But that year before was a tough team to beat, too. That 2000 team was hard to beat, even though Washington pulled it off some type of way. But we definitely learned a lot from that year. So, by far, I'll have to agree with that 2001 team because we had some monsters on special teams. These guys were like no other, man. I mean, the twins, Sean, Antrell, Keith, man, we had some teamers that's first rounders. That's unheard of. Yeah, K2, you had guys that was just and not only the guys that came in, the freshmen and sophomores that was on the special team. Yeah, starters on special teams, So yeah, we wasn't losing, man. So I mean, you could put us against any team. You could put us against any team, and we would damn sure give them a run for their money. Now, at the time, they were talking about us being the best team and being able to beat the worst NFL team. I believe at the time it was like Cincinnati Bengals. And to that, I would say, being that I played 12 years in the league now, it wouldn't have happened. There's no way that team would have been an NFL team. No way. No way. Them grown men you're dealing with, it's not happening. It's not happening. I don't know how to put it. We wouldn't beat them.
All right, I got now just some random stuff. We'll wrap it up Ed, for you. First, let's. I know the event you're talking about on South Beach, Shannon Briggs. What do you remember from that night?
Oh man, so Deuce 1 and 2 G's go out. So we got this group of us from 2 different classes, right? Deuce 1 is a little bit more laid back. 2G is more like, 2G is speak for itself. So we're in this club. I don't know what club it is on South Beach. And we're on Washington. The club is on Washington. And we go in there. We're having a good time. We kind of get separated. 2G's over here, a couple of them over here. Me and Brian, them, we over here by the bar. And we hanging out and chilling and it couldn't have been a good hour and something. And, man, we got to go. We got to go. What happened? Such and such, this guy hit. He's not out there. We don't know where he at. Well, who he got hit by? Well, he got hit by this boxer. What? Hold up, man. So somebody comes, I don't know who it was, comes in from the back. Actually, the back is here because I'm facing the floor. The back, he comes in from the back. She's like, this way, this way, this way. So we rush out the back. We rush out the back of a club, and we in the alleyway. And he didn't stop. He kept walking past the alley into another little section. Like he know exactly where he's going. And we get through this little hall or whatever, little alleyway. And as soon as we come out on Collins, these group of people are sitting down like they just enjoying their day, enjoying the night. They sitting down, and we walk up. And as soon as we get there, this guy just jumps up. What's up? What y'all want to do? We're like, whoa, what happened, man? We just heard, You know, and it was no talking though. It was like, whoa, what y'all want to do? It's like, no, it's like this guy got dreads. He's huge. It's like, who the hell is this dude, man? And he got like 2 little guys with him or 1 little guy with him. It's like, who the hell is this dude? It's like, what y'all want to do? Y'all want something too? It's like, oh, it's Debo. It's like, Debo, dude. It's like, yeah, I did this, I did that. It's like, what y'all want to do? Man, it's me, Brian McKinney, and like 10 other people. And this guy jumps up like that. I'm like, y'all serious? Like, really? All I hear was, get the little guy. Get the little guy. Somebody, runs around the car, to peel back on him. I won't say who that guy was, and hits the little guy. Knocked the little guy out the situation. And all I see is an O-line move. I see hair get grabbed, pulled to the ground immediately. And everything else is just wow, getting hit, right? Kicking going on. You see guy getting kicked, and he's on all fours. When I tell you there must have been 1 kick or 1 punch too many to where the guy just takes off running like nobody touched him, and that's the end of it. It's like, what just happened? Like, we're just beating this dude up, and he gets off and run. He had to be on something. Had to be. Oh, we just that weak. And I'm like, we're football players, man. We lifting weights, all kind of weights, man. There's no reason why 10 of us couldn't get this guy down, right? He takes off running. He's gone. It's like, come to find out, Shannon Briggs got into it with not Samson. God darn it. Got into it with Stinson. He knocked Stinson out, breaks Stinson's jaw. We couldn't find Stinson after the fight we had with Briggs. We calling for Stinson. He's by Nikki Beach. We're on 12th Street somewhere. How the hell you get way on Nikki Beach? And we like, why did it happen? Like, why would Shannon Briggs, like, Stinson is tall and a little swole, but he's not built like, and Stinson don't bother nobody. So that's why the fight kind of just happened. Cause we like, Stinson don't bother people. Like, why would you knock Stinson out? Why would you break his jaw? And I mean, it was bad, man. It's like, no, it's like, for Stinson. It's like out the back door for Stinson. It's like, all right, man, here we go. So when we walked up on him, though, we didn't know who he was, man. And honestly, didn't know who he was until the next day when they figured out that he was knocked out by Shannon Briggs or whatnot. Like, that was a boxer. I could see why he got up and just took those licks and ran, though. It's like, man, it's crazy. I'm saying? We was kicking his ass. Like, truly, we whooping him. I mean, kicking like a real street brawl supposed to be. Like, you jump somebody, you supposed to kick their ass. No, that wasn't the case. He took off running. Like, man, you know what, man? Let's just go play football.
One story, Santana or Tell, and you were part of it, was a practice where, you guys practice hard against each other.
Oh, man, I know what you're about to talk about.
And Santana's coming across the middle, and Delvin knocks him down. You write the ticket, and you guys are roommates.
Yeah,
or
sweet mates.
And nobody's talking to each other after that. You're not sitting together to eat dinner. You're not talking to each other when you get in the suite.
Yeah. So the competition level for us was like here. Me and Reggie used to be in the room. I mean, we competed in everything, man. Basketball, we played countless amounts of hours of basketball at the Heck Center. And football season is going. I mean, so you got Santana and Delvin are roommates. Me and Reggie are roommates. Receiving a DB. So it's points. I mean, it's times when, it used to get a little heated. So we had practice, and it's 2 days, and this it's going. I mean, we are going, and we like, man, you know what, DBs, nobody gets behind us. If they break on the ground, they catch it in the air, don't matter. We the police department. We pulling them over, slow it down, go out of bounds and get your ass hit, or we writing a ticket, We was writing a ticket regardless. It was just our thing. to get ramped up as a group. And you know what? It's going to ramp them up too. And we knew it, but we didn't think it'd get to that extent. Whatever. So Santana runs a route. Delvin hits him. Bam! They meet each other. I think Tanner's helmet came off, or he slung it off and spun the ball on him or something like, yeah, golly, or something. He went off on that. He went off on Delvin. Like, dude, what you doing? Something like that. And Delvin like, man, it's just us, man. And I came over there when he hit him like, ticket, nice hit. Right? Santana just hot at both of us. I think he threw stuff. It's like, man, forget them. And then after that, it just started getting real competitive, at practice. They break practice, we go to dinner, and we get in our place, getting our trays and walking to the table. We walk to the table, you see all the receivers sitting together. I mean, you got Reggie, Santana, Andre King, Darryl Jones, Stu, all them guys. All the receivers, like, what? It's like, man, get us a DB table, right? And we think, we ain't thinking nothing of it. We jokesters, clowns. We go back to meetings, go back to the room, and walk in there and like not getting anything from Reg. I'm like, hold on, man, this can't be right. So when I go out, I go to Del, like, D. Brown, man, I'll let you, man. It's like, what's up, man? It's like, that ain't just quiet, man. They ain't really talking. So, like, we in the room for, like, a couple days, man, this went on. And Delvin just come on, like, Reed, you ready? He try to he go to practice. Reggie might be in there. Reggie go get Santana. They'll just go to practice. Like, it was that competitive. It was so much competitiveness, man, and such a brotherhood, between positions in there and making each other better, that's what happens. That's what happens. It's like family. It's like with brothers. Brothers fight, but at the end of the day, we're together. We're going to come back together. So that's a true testament of the brotherhood and family that we are. That we were during tour days can hate. I mean, we hated each other, I think. I didn't think we liked each other. It was like we truly was getting into it. And it was a lot more intense than what I'm telling you, but you can imagine, like, we didn't talk to each other. I mean, it's less than 5 feet away, beds and everything, and it's like, whatever, man. If that's how you're going to be, whatever. We having these conversations, they're like, whatever, dude, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I ain't got nothing to say to you either. Wait till tomorrow. And they come out there and they just bombing us. I mean, it's like they came out there like, you know what? We're running 1,809 routes, and that's all they did. So it's like the worst of the worst had to get us. And then we come back out there like, hold on, we still ticketing people, but that made us the best team that we could possibly be that year, so.
You go from that competitive spirit to the tree.
Hey, man. The tree will forever be the best place on campus. Outside of Green Tree, but the tree just fit. It's actually like the block, for a lot of us players that came from hoods, that came from corners, hanging around corners. That's how it was, man, honestly. Everybody came to the block. Everybody came to the tree. You can see everybody once they come past that tree. You can see the police, as we call them, if they come in to check classes. You can see some of the best women in Miami walking on campus. Or you could just be there chilling. During class time, you have people at the tree, who probably didn't have class or had class, at the time. But you'll see people that are just chilling throughout the day, and it's like the best place to be on campus, because you can't see. I mean, you can see everything. You can see to the union, to the business building. If you need to go catch the bus, you can see everything. It's like the middle of campus, and there's nothing but grass as you looking throughout the tree. I mean, they got the Merrick and all that, but the grass and all that is open. I mean, it's nothing but shade, under the tree. So it's the best chill spot. Everybody used to come from the little union with their food. You can get a cane card there to go get you some more food if you need be. Whatever you needed was at the tree. Honestly, you could get it there. It didn't matter. Your boy, you're looking for your boy to go back to the apartment, whatever you need, it was at the tree, man. You know, you got it. You got it, man. The girl, like I said, any girl, they was coming past the tree. They wasn't always chilling at the tree, but they were coming past the tree. Basketball girls, track girls, that's different. You know, and I mean, I had a little thing for track women, you know, so.
How about you partook one summer in dance class, and we've got actually
Footage.
video
Get out of here,
of
man.
you.
Miss Lindano, yes. Yeah, it was like my best teacher. Man, you know what? Taking dance class actually was an introduction to yoga for me. For us, I think today, knowing what we know now. But that was the best thing because, for one, it was, you know, it was an easy class to some degree, but you had to do the work. And we really took it serious because it helped us stretch, it helped our flexibility. And most of us, me, Santana, Reggie, Najee, we all ran track, so we knew it was going to help us get faster. You know, and that's what we looked at it as once we realized what was going on in there. But they had some stuff, the Pele's and all that we had to do that we made fun, and she let us make it fun. You know, we even put a little temptations in there, you know what I'm saying? Me and Reggie, them, you know, when we came up with our little dance thing we had to do, you know, for our last grade. So it was awesome, man. I love that class, man. I love Miss Lindano, you know, for the fun that she let us have and had with us in there.
The Orange Bowl.
What about it, man? What you want to know about the OB? I can tell you whatever you want to know about the OB. I can tell you that they never should have got rid of the OB. That was a historic building in the state of Florida. You know, and I cried, man. Like, I shed tears. Like, I couldn't believe it when I heard that they was tearing it down. Like, I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. So many great memories, man. I mean, memories before me that you research and you're like, wow, they won that many games, that many national championships was played there. You like, the NFL basically started there in so many ways. Like, why would you do that? You know, how can you not just leave it? You know, put that stadium, the baseball stadium where we play football at now. You know, Dolphins should have played in our stadium. I have yet to go to Dolphin Stadium and it's been packed. I have yet to go there, play a game, and it's been packed. Nothing to the Dolphins because I got friends there and respect the organization, but they should have been playing the Orange Bowl. Everybody. I mean, every UM football player in their life loved that drive from Schuler's to the stadium. Driving up, seeing those people tailgating right in their own neighborhoods. After the game, walking to your car. Man, that was the best feelings I ever had in life. Driving up and walking to the car, to the game, seeing people, how they enjoying themselves and just sitting out in front of their home. That was Miami. That was Miami. That was Miami. What, Little Havana? That's Miami, man. That was Miami. Everybody was enjoying themselves. And then, you know, just to come out that smoke, man, being the West End and the Orange Bowl open, the games, I mean, the losses, you know, from the Arizona States to them guys coming in there running us out and stopping the streaks, and to winning against Florida State in the wide right and left and smashing Washington. To come back and smash Washington and OB the way we did, come on, man. I mean, it's just so much about the Orange Bowl. Now, you know, I got a seat or something that somebody gave me. I think Harry gave it to me. But the Orange Bowl, man, the OB, forever in our memories with the West End and that smoke. Nothing like it. That heat, man. I think some players who played there, like, couldn't believe it. Like, other teams, like, wow, man, for real.
Do you need to switch a card, or
Oh, no.
got just a couple more?
Yeah, we're just going to break. We just
Okay.
break. There we go.
Oh, that's what you know?
That's it?
It's just
That's a
breaking
quick-
the clip. So,
Oh, wow.
sometimes if it goes too long, the
Then
whole
it's-
tape will get corrupt.
Gotcha.
So,
Got
like,
it,
if we
no.
break, then we're good.
Okay, perfect. I want to go back to that, the payback for Washington, that they ass whooping, and then also the week before it was Syracuse. That week, before where you whooped Syracuse. Was that Payback? Could you still remember that 65 to 13 drubbing in 98, and was it Payback then in 2001?
Every game every game that we played against Florida State, Virginia Tech, and Syracuse was a Payback game. When I first got there, they was in a rhythm of beating us. They beat us all 5 times. They all won 5 times, should I say, against us. So when we played against Florida State, it was Payback. There and in the Orange Bowl. Virginia Tech, same thing. It was Payback. Because, obviously, for them, it was like, shoot, Miami's down, kick them while they down. You know, we've been getting beat by them for so long, it's time to beat them. And beat them bad. And Syracuse, too. I mean, that got those guys drafted high. You know, so not that they rubbed it in our faces, just it was how we are. It's like nothing to them, but we're going to get you back. You know, some way, somehow, this history, guys will know the history about, you know, what we've been through. And Washington didn't have a chance coming into it. It was past Payback. You know, you took something that's something that we truly wanted. You know, something that we knew was truly ours. So we on the road again to get to the national championship. Not only are we on the road, but it's a night game in the Orange Bowl. Not only is it a night game, it's the seniors game. Oh, y'all ain't got a chance. They didn't have a chance. I mean, they didn't have a chance at all. They could have just forfeited and probably would have made out better. You know, I think they said after that game that they would never play us again. You know, and they won't be the last ones to say that. So it's not that we were rubbing it in. It's just that you beat us. So you're gonna get beat back. You know, we wasn't rubbing it in. It's just we was on the road to do something. And if we could have put up 100, we probably would have. I'm sure we could have, but we probably, you know, we had class. As much as they think we didn't, we got class. You know.
You mentioned the smoke. What's that feeling like for kids that see the players? I mean, now other schools do the smoke, but Miami's the team that started it, and it's their tradition. What is that feeling like before a game, running out of that smoke in the Orange Bowl?
You become the person that you've been training to be. When you run out of that smoke, nothing else matters but the training and everything that you've done to be that person on that field. You become that person. Once you come through that smoke, you're that person. For me, I think every time we had smoke, every time I came out of the locker room, I did a little twirl, call it. Because it was becoming that guy. You know, it's like Superman running into the phone booth, you know, for us. That's what it was. It's like you run into that phone booth, you put that uniform on, smoke coming out. You know, that's what it was for us. You become that person that you train to be. When you come out that smoke, oh my God. Whoever's out there on that smoke has got some hell to play. Hell to pay. They got some stuff that they about to go through because you got a bunch of crazy animals running out this smoke, man. And that smoke just amplified it even more. Just amplified it, man. I don't even know how to describe it, man. That smoke is something serious. You know, you can have that smoke coming into your bedroom and your girl, she in trouble. I think every man need to have him like a little smoke machine. Like, baby, it's going down. Come out the smoke and she in trouble. Just get your smoke machine. If you want to be a better you, get your smoke machine like the Canes do. You know what I'm saying? You might even need your Cane shirt.
What about before the smoke, stretching, and that song comes on the Orange Bowl speakers and warm-ups, Phil Collins? You hear that today when you're driving in the car. What memories come back?
I don't hear it. I play Phil Collins' song every so often. I think every Miami guy find himself somewhere in his iPod, you know, his music, library, like, I feel play that song. And immediately it puts you in the Orange Bowl. Immediately it puts you in the mindset like, man, I can go out and just, so Phil Collins is every bit of Miami. He's every bit of Miami for that. I mean, anything we did in Miami was related to In the Air Tonight. It was about to happen. We knew it was about to happen. It was about to happen. We was about to do some special things. That Phil Collins song, man, special. We played it in Baltimore. I think Ray brought it up there and played it, for many years. And as soon as we left, it was gone. So that's how special that song was to us as Canes, and it became part of that tradition. That tradition was with Ray. That Miami tradition of In the Air Tonight went up to Baltimore. And when I got there and heard it, I was like, it was no different. We had that tradition feel up there when we won, and it was a building process also that I related to already because, I've been through it, and so that tradition that we had in Miami as players stuck with Ray and me and Willis when he was up there, and T. Good, who came up there. They understood that and was able to relate to that tradition that we had as Ravens, so.
We're almost done. 2 more, guys. 110s.